You have 65 videos on YouTube, and I think most of those were from when you were on.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I counted them for a reason. 30% of those videos, 19 of them, are focused on Lucille Ball. What is it about Lucy?
Wow. Well, hello. I mean, there's the question of the century, isn't it? What is it about Lucy? I mean, we're still fascinated with Lucy. I mean, just last year, that hideous movie with Nicole Kidman came out, but there was an incredible Amy Poehler documentary. I don't know if you saw that, Lucy and Desi. That was fantastic. It was on Amazon, and there was a TCM and a Lucy podcast. What is it about Lucy? You mean for me personally, or what do I think about Lucy
you
for
personally.
everybody? Well, I think for me, I was a lonely gay boy. I wasn't good at sports. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had a couple close friends. But I had two really great friends that I saw every day after school, and their names were Lucy and Ethel. Or sometimes they were Lucy and Viv. And Mr. Mooney was there occasionally, or Ricky and Fred were there. So to me, Lucy was a real lifeline or a real comfort. She brought joy to my life. She was like, there was just something childlike, there's something childlike and wondrous about her. And when you're with her and when you're watching her, you're kind of a participant in the joy of her being. Now I'm not talking about Lucille Ball, the actress. I'm talking about the character, Lucy. I mean, we all know they're two different entities.
Yeah.
Lucille Ball, the actress, was a very, very, very driven woman. She could not have achieved what she achieved if she had been Lucy Ricardo. I mean, that's just the way it is. Lucy Ricardo is the lovable clown. Lucille Ball is the incredible technician and actress and genius that allowed her to come into creation.
You may be able to clarify this. I've heard she was unpleasant to work with, not because she was a nasty person, but because she was such a perfectionist.
Well, I think there's a lot of people who talk about it. I think that I prefer not to think of her as in negative terms. She was an achiever. She was, you can't get around it. There's a certain misogynistic bent to this idea. If she was a man, they'd think of her differently.
Yeah.
She was a woman who knew what she wanted. Was she tough? Yeah, she had to be tough.
Yeah.
People who aren't tough don't get things done in this town, particularly in that era. This was a woman who went through the studio system. She started as a showgirl and became the first woman president after Mary Pickford. Got to put that in there. The first woman president of a major Hollywood studio. How do you travel that path if you're going to be some, cutesy pie, everybody gets along with? No, you got to be a tough broad. I admire that about her. Yeah. I admire the fact that she was tough. I don't think she was, from everything I've read and everyone I've talked to, she wasn't unfair. I think she called it like it was. Did she lack a little bit of tact? Maybe. I've heard that before. But she got things done. It was her show. She knew what she was doing, clearly. She called the shots, and she didn't waste time, maybe sometimes worrying about people's feelings.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So that's the way I can look at her.
That is why I clarified that. I never heard that she was a nasty person, but that she was just hard to work with. They're two very different things. She knew what she wanted. She knew
what she wanted. She was right. Her daughter said to me, and her daughter's a great resource. You know what I mean? She was a taskmaster, but she was always right. And if you're going to have somebody be a taskmaster, make sure they're right. And she was. That's what's amazing about her. So she cut through all the bullshit and she said, no, this is the way it has to be done. And this is the way it was done. Now, the fact that she could create a beloved character like Lucy Ricardo that touches people still to this day is just part of her acting genius. I think it's important to point out, and I try to point out when I talk about Lucy, the brilliant actress here. People think, yes, she was a clown and she was funny. But this was an actress. This was a woman who played gangsters' malls. This is a woman who played showgirls. This is a woman who played the gamut through her entire career. She just hit upon this persona, which was gold. And so everybody thinks that's who she is. She was a brilliant actress, and she doesn't give enough credit for that brilliance.